1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Want to remind you, Thursday, I have one of the best guests you will ever hear. Quiet, I'm talking. It's Monday. That's how fun I am. That like talking to myself when I play music too loud. It's gonna be the bomb. Tara Roberts. And I'm not going to tell you anything about what she does. You need to be here. You need to hear it for yourself. I also have a surprise guest coming with Tara. It's going to be great. It's going to be Thursday, 5 o'clock. Make sure you're here. Tara Roberts. You can Google her. You can check out her book. But you really don't and won't get it until you are here to hear it for yourselves. 833-212-1017 is the number. On that day, like every day, you can stream it and watch us on YouTube at 1017thetruth.com and make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell, ding, so you never, ever, ever miss a show. So here's the deal. First of all, I'm going to turn the microphone on and off all the time because I'm in the middle of that transitioning from April to May. Just like I transitioned from October to November, and I get that cold, right? So I'm thinking, do I need a spring flu shot? I wonder. Anyway, just as they say, thinking off the top of my head, that makes it very, very shallow. All right. So I want to talk to you all about something because I, over the weekend, have been doing significant research. And have been hearing and watching and listening and looking. And by the way, my snack now is sunflower seeds. So I gave up on all the junk food and all that stuff. I'm gonna just try to do it right. So help me with something. And by the way, if you have a comment on this, 833-212-1017 is the number. I want to talk about conspiracy theories. But I want to talk about why we have conspiracy theories, right? I want to talk about things like right-wing conspiracy theories. You know, we have a lot of things that are going on in the community and a lot of things that are run through the community that we don't really give real argument too. We let things slide because everybody agrees with it, and so we tend to err in confirmation bias because it sounds like it should do. Now watch this. Everybody seems to believe the theory when it very specifically touches their culture or race. And that's unfortunate because there's some things that have been made up that sound strange, but when you ask people for credit, or when you ask people for credit, when you ask people for proof, there's the fictitious man or the man somebody interviewed who said they flew the plane for the CIA to put cocaine in the black community, but nobody knows his name. See, the whole point of it, when it's true, everybody knows every part of it. There's nothing left unturned, not overturned, unturned. But yet, we believe in things that really make no sense. We call it the man. We call it white people. White people call it black people. Like, it's always something else. But when you put your finger on it, it's the infamous and ubiquitous they. They did it. They're the problem. The other issue is, how do you get people, when you give them factual data that literally debunks their conspiracy theory, why is it they won't give up the conspiracy theory? Why is it they believe two competing pieces of information at the same time and they're perfectly okay remaining there? Well, I still think that might be true, but I still believe. One of those people was Brenton Harrison Tarrant. I don't know if you all remember him. He was from New Zealand. He wrote a 72, 74, 76, like after you get over like 7 pages. Does it really matter? A manifesto that talked about white supremacy. We're talking about a guy who literally believed that white people are going down in number and that the numbers of minorities and black people is going up, and they had to do something about it. So he was the one that committed the Christchurch mosque shooting. And most people don't remember that. But if you check it out on my computer is not helping me today at all. Let me put it over here. If you go to the Wikipedia site and check it out, I think you'll be amazed at the information that you will gather on the mosque shootings in New Zealand. Now, you might say that that's in New Zealand, but I've got some other examples of quote-unquote conspiracy theories that whites believe that are generating some of the things that are occurring today. So if you know about the Christchurch shootings in New Zealand, they talk about 2 consecutive mass shootings that took place in Christchurch, New Zealand on March 15th of 2019. And my source is Wikipedia. Committed by a single perpetrator during Friday prayer, first at the Al Noor Mosque in Riccarton at 1:40 p.m. and almost immediately afterwards, the Linwood Islamic Center at 1:52. 51 people altogether were killed, 89 injured, 40 by gunfire. Who was the perpetrator? Brenton Tarrant, arrested after his car was rammed by a police squad as he was driving to a third mosque in Ashburton. He live streamed the first shooting on Facebook. But this is the kind of guy who was sentenced to life in prison without possibility of parole. The first time anybody in New Zealand has ever been sentenced like that. He's a white nationalist, white supremacist beliefs. The problem was he believed in some things that didn't make any sense. But one of the things I wanted to talk about today as it relates to conspiracy theories was the Great Replacement. We've heard people scream it. We've heard people say it. But do you really know what that is and where it comes from? The Great Replacement, or the Grand Replacement, as they talked about it in France, was espoused by Claude Camus. He was French. The original theory versus the theory we have now. The original theory said ethnic French and white European populations at large are being demographically and culturally replaced by non-whites, especially from Muslim majority countries. This is a European thing. Through mass migration, demographic growth, and a drop in the birth rate of white Europeans. Since then, similar claims have advanced in other national contexts, notably in the United States. Mainstream scholars have dismissed these claims as a conspiracy of replacist elitists as rooted in a misunderstanding of geographic statistics and premised upon the unscientific racist worldview. So some people here actually believe that one of the reasons why there's a decline is the Great Replacement, and that is the fear of immigrants moving to America. Now, if you ask people, are they afraid of immigrants coming here? Some of them won't say because it's legal. They'll say immigrants, period, which is odd to me because everyone in your family's heritage are immigrants unless you're native to this land. So it's a bit ironic, or just plain stupid, to believe that immigrants are going to make you become less. But today we're living in a time where the Great Replacement is real. Or so they think. I don't know if you've heard of this. Are you familiar with the 14 words? See, many people have not heard about a lot of this. And it's not to create any animosity. It's not to create any conspiracies. It's so you know, understand, and recognize. Now, don't go off the handle. The 14 words is a reference to the most popular white supremacist slogan in the world. And what is that? We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children. That is the slogan coined by David Lane. He was a member of the white supremacist terrorist group known as the Order. He died in prison in 2007. The term reflects the primary white supremacist worldview in the late 20th and 21st century today, that unless immediate action is taken, the white race is doomed to extinction by an alleged rising tide of color, purportedly controlled by Jews. And so what we're seeing in America today is somehow connected, or is it not? Is it a conspiracy, or is it a conspiracy theory? Because if it's a conspiracy, that means that you've proven it. You've gone in and gotten factual information. Is that correct? Well, you remember Charlottesville, Unite the Right rally. Donald Trump said those were good people there. Really? Well, Charlottesville, Virginia, alt-right neo-Nazis, neo-fascist white nationalists, neo-Nazis, Klansmen, and far-right militia. Those don't really sound like nice people to me. But these are the same people that follow, right, the 14 words, but they also follow the number 88. And so what people miss is if you see the number 1488, that refers to the 14 words and the letter H and the letter H. Bless you. Did you sneeze? So the HH is because the 88 is because H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. You have HH because it's Heil Hitler. So some people will put in their license plates. They'll put a number on their shirt, 1488. That's a white supremacist. Some of the lies that have been told, some of the things that we believe as human beings, as people, differs from race to race, culture to culture, but there's so many things that we have to understand. There's so many things that we have to know are actual conspiracies versus conspiracy theories. My question is, why do we believe conspiracy theories? Why do we believe conspiracies actually exist? And my question to you today, what conspiracy do you believe is true? And even though you may have heard contrary information, you believe it. Now, I've heard, and somebody told me today, that they believe the CIA is the reason why crack cocaine is in the black community. I've heard that. Haven't seen any information on it. But I want to know what you think. 833-212-1017. What is your number one conspiracy? Do you really believe it? Do you still believe it? Is that real? Because, I mean, I can support you on anything you do, on anything you say, on anywhere you go. But the one thing I can't do, the one thing I can't support as it relates to you, conspiracy theories.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
This may be another Elon Musk bureaucratic shuffle, or this may be whatever it is. These, Dr. Ken, are real consequences.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
I believe that there's going to be a step back and a rollback to some of those places that we're talking about making cuts because of the drastic outcome that can occur.
Sundays starting at 7 on 620 WTMJ and Mondays at 6 on 1017 The Truth.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks. And enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
We Energies want you to keep this important safety message in mind. Before you start digging, planting, or landscaping on your property, call 811 to have underground utilities marked. Calling 811 at least 3 business days before you plan to dig will help you know what's below and can prevent a hazardous situation. Our representatives will mark the underground utilities on your property for free. So remember, stay safe and call before you dig.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
April is Global Volunteer Month. Find the perfect volunteer opportunities for you at volunteerwisconsin.org or contact your local United Way or Volunteer Center today. Volunteerwisconsin.org is hosted by United Way of Wisconsin and Serve Wisconsin. Paid for by United Way of Wisconsin.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Bike crash? Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I got hollered at. Where you at? You was supposed to get in there. You're a minute late. Ah! I'm like, I'm sorry, sir. I know you're the producer of the show, and I have to, and I have to be here. Yeah, I noticed that little voice I use. Somebody actually said that to me. You be using the funny voices when you be talking about other people, just like I do now. Anyway, 833-212-1017 is the number. Brian, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What you got?
I got several of them for you.
Okay. Well, wait a minute. Are these ones that you actually believe?
Yeah, I believe them.
Okay. So you open to a little pushback. Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely.
All right, brother.
I think certain people already knew 9/11 was going to happen before it happened.
And what proof do you have of that?
Seeing Alex Jones do an interview before it even happened, a month before, saying that Osama bin Laden or they were going to fly planes into the World Trade Center, seeing him say it. Tucker Carlson did an interview with him because he saw it himself. He recently did an interview with Alex Jones on it, and I saw it way before it happened too. Pearce wrote a song about it, talking about Bin Laden's gonna bomb. Bin Laden's gonna bomb.
But that's what they do.
Pearce did a song about it.
He's a terrorist. He's always been a terrorist. Like, that's like saying, you know what? Next week, I know when Dr. Ken goes to that event, he gonna talk too much. Well, that's what I.
And here's another one.
Okay.
And here's another one. 2011, Jay-Z and Kanye West predicted the pandemic. They were talking about the pandemic is coming. The pandemic is coming. They had a whole video about it.
But where's their proof?
So,
like, when you have facts, no, you just can't say it. No.
Foreshadowing is proof.
Dude,
foreshadowing is proof.
Foreshadowing is not proof. You're going to die.
Foreshadowing is proof.
You're going to die. Am I going to foreshadow your death now? No.
In that case, everybody's going to die.
That's my point.
Yeah, we know that.
That's my point. So when you say you foreshadow a pandemic is coming, if you foreshadow sickness is coming, we've had pandemics before. We've had sickness that has come over here before. Ebola almost broke out. Nobody say nothing about that.
There's a picture of Jay-Z with a picture of his hair now, sitting watching a television on his shirt back in the 2000s, and that's exactly the way he dresses now, with the crazy hair and the cartoon image.
That means nothing, though. Like, what are you reading from that?
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing is just like, dude, people foreshadow who's going to win the World Series, and then they win.
All right, put it this way.
Is that the same thing?
Put it this way.
Yes, sir.
You remember I know you've heard of the Mandela effect, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, back in the 80s, you're probably, I don't know if you're younger or maybe we're both the same age, but you know back in the 80s, we remember Mandela dying in prison in the 80s. Don't we remember that?
We remember hearing that Mandela died in prison.
Okay, and then all of a sudden he pops up as the president of South Africa
That was not a short thing. His sentence got commuted. He got released. He came back and he ran. I mean, it wasn't like one then and then the other. It wasn't like they said he was dead and then out of the blue he became president. That didn't happen.
Yeah, well, they scrubbed the papers, but we did see them say that he died in prison. I'm not the only person that remembers this.
And what paper?
I know you remember. Pardon me?
And what paper did you read it in?
Actually, it was on the Larry King Show. Because back in them days, the Larry King Show was the only show on the national airwaves.
Correct.
Westwood One.
Correct.
So I remember. Here's another one for you. The Home Depot. They're just starting to use "the" in front of Home again. They didn't use "the" in front of it. A few years ago, they used to call it Home Depot.
What does that mean?
Huh?
Why? So why do you care? Is that a conspiracy or something, or what?
No, that's a Mandela effect. I'm just putting all these things out here to let you know that the world is not as you see it.
So what is
it? There are games being played on us. There are games.
Okay.
Our reality is nothing more than a stage in a game.
And so what are you going to do about it?
There's nothing you can do about it but watch it and recognize it and deal with what's in front of you on a daily basis.
Wow.
Peace.
So no hope, no, yeah. Wow. So that was that. I don't necessarily believe him. I don't. Where's your proof? How much proof do you need to believe that a conspiracy is true? When we come back, I'm going to talk about one of the oldest theories that to this day people actually think was true. And it's not. And we've probably started wars, had killings and homicides for no reason. And it makes absolutely no sense. But yet, here we are. Conspiracy theories. You're listening to 1017 The Truth. I only pause because it drives Zach crazy. Zach be looking at me like, dude, you pause again, I'm going to hit you in your head. And then he actually hit me in my head. Look at this. See this? Y'all see this? See this? Where this? See this? That's from Zach. Y'all see that? You see it? It's on YouTube, Zach. Look. It's on YouTube. Right there. It's his fault. Look at that. Look at that. Right there. It's Zach. Look at that. Close up. Close up. Right there. Get real close. You want me to lean in? That's a natural thing that I've had on my head since I was a kid. And people used to call me knot boy. Look at a knot boy. Because when you got a small head and a big knot, right? So look, it looked like this. Like this big thing hanging off your head. And as my head got bigger, the knot got smaller. And then the people started calling me big head. I was very sensitive as a kid. People are hurtful when you're children. When I was growing up, people were hurtful. Now I don't care. You can talk about me if you want, say what you want. I don't really care. Okay. Now, if it's something criminal and I didn't do it, I'm coming after you. I am coming after you. Talk a text line, good day to you, sir. Pontificate, my pencil sharpened and at the ready. Reginald, keep it ready because when I come back, we're going to talk about one of the most prolific conspiracy theories and some people that got tied up in it who had to later recant and change their mind. And I mean publicly recant and change their mind because it was that bad. And now on 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk Traffic, here's Debbie Lazaga.
Northbound on 43, we are seeing some backups basically from the Marquette all the way up to Keefe, so careful with that. We've also got that crash on the off-ramp to Fond du Lac Avenue as well, so be careful. On the southbound side, slowing from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way down through the Marquette, over the high-rise bridge, pretty much all the way down to Chase. Westbound 94, backing up through the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound slow from before 84th Street, pretty much all the way to about 35th Street. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, breezy. A few showers later on, a low of 38. Tomorrow, a few showers early. Afternoon sunshine, breezy with a high of 50. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us. But, try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. Thanks to 43 points from Pat Connaughton, the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Detroit Pistons in overtime on Sunday afternoon, 140-133. They finished the regular season with an overall record of 48-34. Next up is the Indiana Pacers in round 1 of the NBA playoffs. Over to baseball, where the Milwaukee Brewers lost to the Diamondbacks on Sunday by a final of 5-2. They end up losing 2 out of 3. They return home tonight to take on Detroit. First pitch for tonight's contest is all set for 6:40. And lastly, over to golf, where after 11 years, Rory McIlroy finally did it.
The long journey is over. McIlroy has his masterpiece.
McIlroy outlasting Justin Rose in the playoffs to secure his first Masters championship. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Chance his girlfriend came across a needle and soon she did the same. At home there are 17-year-old boys and their idea of fun is being in a gang called the Disciples, high on crack, toting a machine gun.
Yep. You can let it keep going. I'm just that's my song. I love this song.
Time.
Yep. 833-212-1017 is the number. What is your conspiracy theory that you believe?
Hurricane and it rip the ceiling off a church and kill everyone inside.
So you're going to let's fade it after I just try to build myself up and be... you can fade it. Do it. No, you can fade it. Forget it. Hurt my feelings again. He hurt my feelings at least once a day. He'd be like, you stupid. Now go in there and do your talk show. I'd be like, yes, sir. Now get in there. Here's your stuff you need to read. Here's your stuff you need to say. I was like, okay. And then DJ Brother Z be behind him going, yeah. So I'd be like, okay. So I just give up. I just come in here and do my show every day. Y'all didn't know that, did you? The producers run everything. They just jack us. They just be like, get in here and do your show. Yes, sir. And then I just walk into my show. It's terrible. It's terrible. Somebody should call the Anti-Cruelty Society. Oh, yeah, that'll go over well. So let me get this right. This guy's 60 what? And you're 20 what? And you make him do what? Right. And everything will be great. They're going to call out the people. They're going to say, well, who is it? They're going to be like, it's Dr. Ken Harris. They're going to be like, no, bye. Be like, wait, what? I said, I don't even believe it. And so it's unfortunate that your reputation can have you at a point where people can say, nah, that didn't happen. Or, yeah, that happened. And that's unfortunate, but that's how conspiracies start. Moni said, watch Snowfall and Narcos and you'll see the U.S. CIA and DEA involvement. Those are not real shows. Even if it's a documentary, it's not a real show. Come on. And all I got to do is say at the beginning, based on real events. And then everybody thinks it's real. You know what the only real event was? The title, Narcos. Oh. No, I'm being facetious, but come on. Where's your proof? Chris said, honestly, the one that I can't get past is COVID-19 being planned. Also, sorry, I just have a hard time letting that one go. Okay, but Chris, I don't understand what you mean. Was it planned or not? Does anybody believe COVID-19 was planned? Because when COVID-19 started, they blamed black people for the whole thing. To the point where some idiot, yes, I'm calling the entity an idiot, gave the medical college money to do a study in Sherman Park for black people. And we signed up for it like a fool. I was stupid to do that. That was a stupid move on my part, to go to some study because they're trying to find out about COVID when they thought COVID started. The black community is the one that's, really? But more y'all died than we did, so, you know. I mean, people in Milwaukee. Who y'all mean? I wasn't talking race. But I just find it interesting that we are so fast to believe idiocy. Kelvin said, I don't believe we ever landed on the moon. So what did they do with what's the name today? Do you believe that, what is it? Was it Virgin Blue that went up today? The all women? You believe that? He said you don't believe it because it was women. Blue Origin, Blue Orchid, Blue TV screen, whatever. Wow. He said you don't believe it because it was women. Ooh. Anyway, I did not say that. Exploiting the crack epidemic at the expense of black Americans. But what does that mean, Moni? Exploiting it. Who exploited it? See, I've heard with like Snowfall and Narcos that the CIA planted crack cocaine in the black community. And if that's the case, who got paid from the crack epidemic? I don't understand. The hospitals that treated them? Like, I don't understand who got paid. The drug dealers didn't make that much. The only people that made money are the people in Medellin or wherever in Mexico or Central America that initially sold the drug. Everywhere after that, you didn't make any real money. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you about the protocols of the learned elders of Zion. The protocols of Zion have been around. There have been documentaries and books and all sorts of stuff where people will tell you, to the point that they actually published it as a book, people will tell you that it's real. They'll tell you that it's a detailed Jewish plot for world and global domination. First published in Imperial Russia in 1903, translated into multiple languages, and disseminated internationally in the early part of the 20th century. It played a key part in popularizing belief and an international Jewish cabal. In 1921, a British newspaper found that it was what? Fabricated. A hoax. But what they did is they took sources, but it was read to be factual. Teachers taught German school children throughout Nazi Germany as if it was real. Presented by anti-Semitic groups. It's a fabricated document that people said was factual. The document included the assassination of Umberto the First in 1900, William McKinney in 1901, for example, as these events were plotted out in advance. But they weren't. And it went on and on with political conspiracy as its background. And so when you read it, it sounds so truthful and so real that you know who the one person is that fell for it and published a book on it. And he was anti-Semitic and didn't like Jews. Y'all drive the cars every day. Henry Ford. But later he recanted the book when he found out that the protocols of the learned elders of Zion was a hoax. And this was in the 1950s, and it had been regarded a hoax for at least 30 years by then. But these are the kinds of things that when you are given information that is directly opposite to what you believe, where does bias come in? Where is it that you continue to look like the crack epidemic in the black community? Anybody believe that, by the way? The CIA doing the crack epidemic and created the crack epidemic. And so my question has always been, for what reason? What is the reason why someone would put crack cocaine in the black community? I'm just asking. 833-212-1017. I'm wondering, to what end? To destroy black people? There are not enough black people that have done drugs to be on crack to get rid of all. Okay, now granted, anecdotally, you may know a lot of people that smoke weed. Okay. But that doesn't mean it's going to skip and roll all the way up to cocaine and crack cocaine. So 833-212-1017 is the number. What are your thoughts? Oh, I forgot. When we come back, I'm gonna check YouTube as well, because I'm sure we got some interesting things going on. You know, these are times in everybody's life when life tosses you a curveball and you have to readjust and realign and rededicate your resources to making things better. You know, sometimes you may know what to do, and other times you just kind of stumble through, and it's the first time you've ever faced an issue, especially when it's financial. For the last couple of decades, I've been able to turn to Educators Credit Union. I've had financial issues that involved other family members, and I've had to go in and get advice and get a plan, and I'm here to tell you it worked. At Educators, our members are our purpose. As a credit union, we're not concerned about profits or the bottom line for shareholders. Our greatest reward is you achieving your financial dreams through lower rates and access to free financial resources. Experience more heart and less hassle by making the switch today. Achieve more at ECU.com. Insured by NCUA, membership eligibility is required.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. It's NBA playoffs time. This week, Marcus and Chris give a playoff preview on the pod. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's your girl DT from The Truth Unfiltered with DT and Dr. Ken Harris. Now listen, at a critical time, through the Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, Old National Bank provided the resources I needed to sustain my business. Now the process had its challenges, but I was supported, and it was also an invaluable learning experience for future ventures. I am so grateful for the support that helped my business thrive. Old National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, all loans subject to approval.
Saving energy and money is easier than you think. Here are 2 simple things you can do to reduce your energy use and lower your energy bill. Use thermal curtains to reduce each room's energy loss by up to 25%, and make sure vents aren't blocked by furniture or rugs to improve airflow and comfort. Simple, smart savings. Get more energy-saving tips at WeEnergies.com.
Finding stable housing shouldn't be a struggle. The Milwaukee Rental Housing Resource Center connects renters, property owners, and partners to the resources they need, whether it's rental assistance, legal aid, mediation, or tenant education. No matter what your situation is, you do not have to go at it alone. Get assistance today by visiting renthelpmke.org. That is renthelpmke.org, or stop by their office at 728 North James Level Street in Milwaukee. At the Milwaukee Rental Housing Resource Center, they are here for all your housing needs.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. One of my favorite songs. 833-212-1017 is the number. So we were talking about conspiracy theories. So what are some conspiracy theories that you've heard? The biggest one is the protocols of Zion. And that lie has been around for over 100 years, but yet we continue to hear it in little different ways. You know, Jews are taking over the world. Jews are like, really? But anything that gives you information contrary to it, they just kind of pretend like, oh, well. Yeah. And so what is it about the mind that you hear information that is very specific, but yet you still go against it like it's no big deal? And why is it that when you hear information that's clear and convincing that the conspiracy that you believe is not true, you mitigate it? Well, some of it was, well, some of it is, and it makes no sense. Now, there's a difference in a conspiracy theory and a conspiracy. A conspiracy theory is just that. It's theoretical. Well, I believe it's this because of that. Oh, okay. Conspiracy. Did you look at the way Martin Luther King was killed and John F. Kennedy was killed and Abraham Lincoln was killed and on? For what reason? I've just never understood it. With zero proof. Is it a mindset that we have that we want to believe those things? And we tend to believe the things that are racial based, right? When we talk about immigrants coming in and taking over the world, it's based on white people believing that they're losing their power. Crack cocaine in the black community put in by the CIA is believed by the black community because it's, right? So we tend to believe, ironically, there's a study that shows that once you're educated, bachelor's or master's degree, about 22% of them believe in conspiracy theories across the board, race and gender. So is it me or is it the more educated you are, the more theories you believe in? Sue, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Hi, good. I think that it is to the advantage of people who believe a certain way to buy into any of their fear or paranoia so that they can get all more heated up, and I think that's a rush.
But what do you mean by buy into it?
Well, I think that black communities have been drugs have been poured into the communities, and back in the day in New York and the ghettos, guns were back into the communities because I believe that white power and the Klan and all that need to prove that black people are less and more vulnerable, so they put them in situations.
But what that sounds like is that black people are so weak and nimble and stupid that they can be actually, well, that's what you're saying, because now they'll be able, hang on, let me say my interpretation of it. Y'all can just, white people can, I'm saying y'all, white people can just come in and do something and we'll just fall for it. Because that's the mentality we have today of how many people, white, think of the black community. That you could tell them anything, you could do it. That's how the Democratic Party treats us. So, prove me wrong. It's a theory.
My turn?
Absolutely. Maybe.
Okay. I think that the white powers that be have disadvantaged the black community so much that then when they throw in a new toy, whether it's drugs or guns or whatever, anybody who's been pushed around so long feels downtrodden already, so is more susceptible, I think.
Listen to what you're saying. That psychologically black people are so stupid that y'all could just do anything.
No,
we're just listen to what
white people did it to them.
Really?
White people did it to them. White people disadvantaged the black people. No, you're not stupid at all.
That is. First of all, I don't need you to call me stupid.
Done historically.
Stupid, are you serious?
Come on, listen. I'm not calling them stupid. I'm saying that since slavery, since the black people have been imprisoned, in privatization, the white people have done everything they could to make sure black gerrymandering, everything.
Sure,
all
those
the
things
angles
have happened.
That white people have taken.
Come out. Sure, those things have happened, but we're not asking you to be our ally because we're so poor and downtrodden we can't do it ourselves. Like, what is that?
No, I'm not saying anything about an ally. I'm saying,
then answer my question. What is in your mind that you think that black people are so susceptible to white people coming in and taking advantage of, which they did with federal law, that today we need your help?
No, I think there's nothing stupid about white people.
Answer my question.
Black people. I think that the white people have made sure by not allowing a money advantage, not allowing reading advantage, not allowing education advantage, all these other
Even
things
though all
that
these black
white
people are
just take for
educated,
granted.
all these black people went to college, all these HBCUs out there, and you always tend to look at those of us that don't have to represent all of us. Why do white people do that?
No, you asked why.
But you just did.
There was a rumor that Sherman Park, wherever, had been drugs have been put in there, and why that became like a conspiracy kind of thing.
Do you believe that?
I think that whites have been. I was asking the question of why people believe it.
No, I'm asking you, do you believe it?
Do I believe white people set up black people to have a rougher time? Yes.
Okay.
White people set up any nation besides white people to have a rougher time.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you much. I appreciate it, Sue.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank God for Top 5 at 5.
Hey, Truth fam, this is your girl, Melanie Ricks, and I want to remind you to tune into Nothing But the Truth digital show with me, Melanie Ricks, presented by Visit Milwaukee. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m., a new episode drops on the 1017 The Truth YouTube page. And since it is on YouTube, I hold nothing back. I give you all my hot takes on celebrity gossip and give you the tea on relationships that you don't want to miss. Subscribe to 1017 The Truth on YouTube so you never miss Nothing But the Truth digital show, dropping every Wednesday at 6 p.m., presented by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
April is Financial Literacy Month, and The Truth has you covered on learning how you can best manage your finances. All April on Jammin' with Juice, Ben Jammin and Carrie Noni will speak with Nina Johnson, Senior Vice President and Wisconsin Branch Banking Market Leader from U.S. Bank. They will discuss financial strategies and tools they offer their customers to help enhance your financial management skills. Financial Literacy Month on the award-winning 1017 The Truth is sponsored by U.S. Bank.
More than 6 million kids in the U.S. have ADHD, and many aren't getting the support they need. At understood.org, we can help. Sometimes in class, the only thing your child can focus on are the thoughts racing through their head.
Why am I always falling behind? Why do I feel so alone? So different.
Your child is looking to you for answers. But as a parent, you probably have a lot of questions too. What should I do next? Where do I even start? At understood.org, we provide parents with the resources they need to help kids with ADHD thrive. Your child wants to thrive. Be the reason they do. Visit understood.org/the reason to get started.
Dear employer,
my name is Phil Martin.
My name is Michael Roskovich.
Ronaldo Bird.
Zach Deiser. I am writing to express my excitement at the opportunity to join your team.
As someone on the spectrum,
I possess a unique set of skills
that sets me apart from other candidates.
My detail-oriented nature allows me to communicate complex ideas,
to break down data,
to have no fear in meeting new people.
I may communicate in ways that are different from what you are used to.
Structure, routine,
and clear expectation.
Help me do my best work.
My autism allows me to have a perspective that needs to be seen and heard.
It allows me to make the world safer and improve systems in ways others can't.
It allows me to bring people's inner worlds to life with my artwork.
My autism
will bring your team important insights.
Thank you for your consideration.
An autistic inclusive workplace is good for business. It's time to make a change. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/win.
Get the truth and nothing but the truth with Sherwin Hughes every weekday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on 1017 FM, 1510 a.m. WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, If you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. For Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, there's lots of buzz going around about the draft that's coming, but you won't find one seeping through Pella's Windows and Doors. In fact, you should make Pella your number one pick because right now you can take advantage of no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades. Their talented designers and installers can match your unique home through seamless customization. So certain restrictions apply. Deal ends April 30th. You only got about 15 days or so. So place your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com. 833-212-1017 is the number. We were talking about conspiracy theories and all the jazz that's going on with that. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What's up?
I got a conspiracy theory that the one conspiracy theory I believe is the reason why racism is out of control.
Okay.
Is because a lot of white women don't want to breed white men's seed, and he's feeling left out.
But if that were the case, then there would actually be more mixed baby children in the world than white and black children, and I don't really see.
No, I'm talking about now, though. I'm talking about now because a lot of white women don't want to have a white man's baby, and this was what I've been hearing.
And how many people have you been hearing that from?
Well, I've been hearing it from a lot. It's not the whole world, but a lot of them. Well, for me, I talk to a lot. I ain't going to say 100, but most white women I come in contact to, they don't want to breed white man's seed, and the white man is upset about that.
How do you know white man is upset about that?
Because we think about it.
No. Give me the proof that you have that white men are upset about that.
Well, let's see. You take your time and your effort to be worried about black people and about abortions, but it's the white women that's having the most abortions. White women don't want to breed a white man's seed. All you got to do is talk to a couple of white women.
So you're coming up with the reason why white women don't want to do something based on 20 white women who told you a reason, and you're assuming men are mad about that when in fact you haven't.
A lot of them are.
Have you talked to them?
Do you know how white men? Do you know how white men think?
Yes, I do.
How would you feel? How would you feel if you was a white man and a white woman don't want to breed your seed?
How would you feel if you were a black man and a black woman didn't want to breed your seed?
Well, it depends. Well, if I'm all about black, I would be hurt. But considering if I'm afraid of losing power and I'm thinking about what black people are doing, then I would look at it as a threat.
So you're giving the reason why someone else feels a certain way, but you really have no evidence that that's actually true.
Well, I'm just looking at how the world is.
No, I'm asking you for proof.
Okay, well, just watch TV and listen to white people. And listen to the racism. Because it comes back to black, and they have a dark history. All right, bye-bye.
So how do you connect that without any evidence whatsoever? But because you believe it, that makes it true. And what about all the women that are married to white supremacist men or follow in that trope and are anti-black, like hate black everything. They just tolerate it because they have to. But would just as soon move you back to Africa than to live here near you. God forbid have your children. It'll be another Emmett Till incident. And so we carry these things, but we don't really have, there's a difference in a conspiracy to do something and a theory that something is a conspiracy, but it's really not. Because I'm still waiting on the proof. Ann said balderdash. Wow, really, Ann? I have to believe progress is being made across the board. Well, Ann, let me go back. Based on personal experience, it's really not. It's really not. And we have to look at the small pop-ups of things that occur like January 6th, like Charlottesville, of what the underlying condition is in the white community. We talk about powerful white women, but there really aren't a lot. White men have taken over the world, who believe the world is theirs, and they're going to do what they want to do. We could pretend, or we could, it just, Do we grow in wisdom? No. Do we grow in grace? Nope. We take over. Just like we did when we came to America. And I'm speaking the euphemistic we, because I'm American, but I'm not white. And when you come in and you kill everybody and cause disease to rampage natives that are here and take land, and then have the audacity to say, because you created a government, now they have to kowtow to the government. You don't owe them anything. And then you give them land, you give them money, you give them the ability to make money, but you don't really give them money, the ability to make money legitimately. You give them the ability to make money using what? Casinos. And so where do we get off, right? Where do we figure out that many of the maladies that are occurring in America today were not caused by black people, were not caused by Hispanic people, were caused by the actions of people who came over here, created this country, dedicated it, had the audacity to lie to people to say it was freedom for all when it wasn't, who didn't give women the vote until, 1923, 21, under suffrage, and then didn't give it to black women at all, or black men for that matter, until after Jim Crow. And now are pushing to use natural disasters to come in and take over and make people acquiesce to what they believe America is. And that's crazy. You don't get to the point of being. See, here's the problem. Here's a problem that people have. You created a country that actually worked. That if you came here and you worked and you grew up here and you had citizenship and you weren't naturalized, you could do anything you wanted to do. You could build anything you want to build. And if you are naturalized, you could do the same thing because you're what? A citizen. And you forgot that some of the most tenacious, resilient, intellectual builders, professors, computer scientists, and scientists are black. And so now you take advantage of it. If every black, I probably should say, if every black man married a black woman, there would still be more than enough white women in the world. What did I say? Black man married white women? Anyway, if enough black men married white women, if all of them did, there would still be more than enough white women in the world to procreate and still have more white people. Like, that's how ridiculous the argument is. And I think there'd be riots before that happened. So I'm just saying. But to go to Ann's point, aren't we beyond that? Are we beyond race? When she talked about we grow in wisdom, hopefully, the problem I have, Ann, is that you put the word hopefully. How about we just grow in wisdom, period, and make that the point? Progress has been made, but there are a good number of reasons why black people have not risen to where they should be. And I mean not in comparison to white people, but just just who they are, have not. What drains me before we go to break is watching white people act like they're the saviors of black people. As if white people have done so many things for us that you want to then come in and fix us or make it happen. We'll do it for you. And it makes no sense. None. Makes absolutely no sense. But yet, that's what we do. And later, we're going to talk about Hurricane Katrina. Some of the stuff that came out of Hurricane Katrina. Amazing. Now, you got to do what? Weather machines now? What, you got a weather machine that made the tornado, the hurricane come in? Woo! Lordy, Lordy.
Number 5.
April 14th, that's today. It's 414 day. Like April, 4th month, 14th day. Celebration at All Things Milwaukee, and the tradition has expanded every year, paying homage to what makes the city so great. The fun started at the Milwaukee Fire Department. That's unfortunate. Station 14 should have started at the police department. Anyway, where Mayor Cavalier Johnson boarded Engine 14, temporarily renamed Engine 414 for a ride to City Hall. Oh, that's so cute. Now I don't want to read that story anymore. I think I'm going to go to the to the next story.
Number 4.
From WISN.com, the police are investigating a Milwaukee County Transit System bus crash with injuries in Oak Creek. About 6:30 this morning at the intersection of Howell and College, just south of Mitchell International Airport near the entrance of MATC Oak Creek campus, News Chopper 12 was over the crash scene and saw the MCTS bus in the intersection with a heavily damaged car nearby. At least 2 people were transported from the scene by ambulance, and that's according to the spokesperson. The bus driver was taken to the hospital to be evaluated. There were no passengers on the bus at the time. Oak Creek police have not released details about the cause of the crash and the investigation that remains. So, what happens is you try to beat a bus. I don't know what happened in the crash. I'm just assuming, especially when you see a bus and you see a car that's basically crushed. So I think people seem to think that buses, I don't know what people think. I saw a woman speeding up I-43 today so fast that it scared me. You know those people that speed up in the left lane? And they speed up so fast in the left lane that they like almost rear end the car in front of them? Like in your trunk? Like if you tap the brakes, they would hit you. And they expect you to move. They're going 85 miles an hour in a 55, and they expect you to move. What is the speed that if I'm passing on the left and I'm doing, the speed limit is 55 and I'm doing 60 or 65, if you want to pass me in the left lane, you should probably go around because I'm not moving. I refuse to move. Well, that's not proper etiquette. Yeah, it is. I'm not moving. This young lady was going 85 miles an hour and had to slam on her brakes not to run into the car in front of her in the left lane. And I looked over and there was a baby in a car seat behind her. And I know what somebody said. The baby might have been sick. Then why weren't you blowing your horn and flashing your lights? If you'd have called an ambulance, you probably could have got them quick. Like, there's so many scenarios, like, what you're doing isn't showing me that, yeah, there's a problem. You are not going to beat a bus. I don't care what kind of car you got. I don't care what kind of SUV you got. You ain't beating a bus. Unless you're a dump truck, you are not beating a bus. And you get, it's like your pinky and your entire foot. You just can't. You're going to break something. It's unfortunate, but I mean, I'm just saying.
Number 3.
Speaking of driving, Fox 6 Now reminds us drivers in Milwaukee and Waukesha County can expect traffic impacts. What is a traffic impact? What is a traffic impact? That's the lying way of telling you that now I-41 rehabilitation and I-94 resurfacing is starting to take place, and you gonna be getting jacked. It's the next phase of the Wisconsin Department of Transportation's I-41 rehabilitation project targeted between Burleigh and Silver Spring. Construction is scheduled to be completed by, you ready? Summer 2026. DOT said during the day, traffic will be reduced to 2 lanes in both directions, down to 1 lane overnight. North Avenue on-ramp to northbound I-41 will be closed until late this summer. But what about Waukesha? Well, don't feel bad. I-94 between Highway 83 and Highway 16. This comes with overnight lane and ramp closures on east and westbound I-94 and on some local roads, which includes concrete pavement repairs, final pavement markings. And so we don't like to travel that far, of course. We don't travel that far, but you need to check 511. Like, if you don't know what 511 is, 511 gives you all the construction. It's 511wi.gov, and you can literally look at the map, look at the traffic, look at all the things that you need to know when you're about to travel. Because I'm going to tell you, this summer is not going to be a fun summer at all. Which leads me to
number 2.
I don't know which story to do because both of them kind of go, wow, really? But I'm going to go with my number 2. This from TMJ4. So the Social Security Administration will implement changes today in an attempt to cut down on fraud that happens over the telephone, and beneficiaries have mixed reactions about what this can mean for them. Alice Capital, who traveled to the Social Security office in Sheboygan today, said, I was on the phone for 2.5 hours. They just disconnected me, so I called back and it rang, and it did the same thing. You can't get through. She says she gets frustrated when she has to call into the agency, but for her, it's still easier than coming in person. I don't drive, I'm disabled, and I don't have a car. That's the reality for many Americans who benefit from the program. Her daughter is quick to jump in to help even after working a second shift. I have to get up early in the morning, then I have to drive and pick her up in Cleveland, and then I have to come here. It takes about a half hour, 45 minutes one way. These types of trips may soon become more common because starting today, the Social Security Administration will enforce rules aimed at cracking down on fraud that happens over the phone. Under the direction of Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, the agency will conduct checks on all applications for benefits that happen over the phone and will flag potential fraud. Wouldn't you think you would send people there to check on the person? Anyway, if a claim is flagged, the applicant will need to visit an in-person office, which can be challenging for those who are disabled or living far from the nearest office. According to the Social Security Administration, about 40% of fraud happens over the phone. Their goal is to simply align security measures with most banks, and they say all other SSA telephone services remain unchanged. Well, then if that's the case, then why won't you change it and then fix the system? Like, if you don't have the people, why wouldn't you make it automated so that people can have it? And I don't really understand that. I just don't understand that. That makes absolutely no sense to me. But then again, I'm just one guy.
Number 1.
From CNN Politics, the White House and El Salvador's president make clear mistakenly deported man won't be returning to the U.S. So Trump met with Bukele. The Trump administration met with El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, and they made it clear during an Oval Office visit today that the Maryland man who was wrongly deported to El Salvador won't be brought back to the U.S. White House officials haven't argued it's up to El Salvador whether they do or not, despite a Supreme Court ruling that the U.S. must facilitate his return. And so when you think about it, it's important to remember that the White House and the El Salvadorian president literally met today and said, no, he's not coming back. But yet the Supreme Court voted 9-0 that the White House must facilitate Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia's return. White House officials are arguing that it's up to the El Salvadorian government to do so. The president, when asked, said it would be preposterous I can't say that word either. Preposterous to bring him back. If you're suggesting I smuggle a terrorist into the United States, how can I smuggle a terrorist to the United States? Of course I'm not going to do it. The question is preposterous. Senior White House officials have objected to the judge's rulings in recent days and argued that a court cannot intervene for. See, this is the lie that the Trump administration tells. This has nothing to do with foreign policy. That is an idiotic comment by a senior White House official who won't get named. It's about violating a person who was in the country legally, thus he has access to the U.S. Constitution. This has nothing to do with foreign policy. This man was not deported because of foreign policy. He was deported because you thought he was an illegal, and he wasn't. He was here legally on a judge's order. Now the United States Supreme Court has ordered you to bring this man back. Here's what I would suggest. Hey, Supreme Court, go to the Department of Justice, get a warrant, and take whoever won't bring that person back. What's his name? The guy that works for Homeland Security that's bringing all these people, and arrest him for contempt of court. And tell him he will sit his behind in jail until he does it. Because that's the only way they're going to get this guy back. To be mistakenly sent back to your country where you're told that this guy has a price on his head. They're going to kill him if you send him back. You accidentally send him back, even though he has an order that says he can stay here, and nobody in the Justice Department checked. Whoever scooped him up, hold them in contempt. We've gotten a woman out of Russia, and you don't think we can get somebody out of El Salvador? This guy's not a terrorist. He was here legally. And the Supreme Court agreed 9-0. This is a constitutional issue. It has nothing to do with foreign policy. And answer me this. How can it be foreign policy and the guy's already here?
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Start jamming in the morning and get your daily drop of juice.
Juice gets you hydrated and started for your day. And that's what we plan to do from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Every single morning, we're going to be keeping you in the mix, talking about everything you care about all before 9 a.m.
So wipe that crust out your eyes and get ready for jamming with Juice.
Turning your mornings into your favorite part of the day.
Get that steak breath out of here. Brush your teeth.
It's it, bro. Like, what? Catch Jammin' with Juice.
From 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Milwaukee.
We Energies want you to keep this important safety message in mind. Before you start digging, planting, or landscaping on your property, call 811 to have underground utilities marked. Calling 811 at least 3 business days before you plan to dig will help you know what's below and can prevent a hazardous situation. Our representatives will mark the underground utilities on your property for free. So remember, stay safe and call before you dig.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years from their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee. Their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 833-212-1017, saying, I just read something and went like, what? Lana Banana said, did Elon Musk say communication between Social Security and beneficiaries must communicate via Twitter or X? Yes and no. Weeks after Social Security, I can't talk to that. Too many. Look, it used to be full sunflower seeds. It's my snack. Told y'all I was on a diet. Told y'all I was starting on a diet. Within weeks after the Social Security Administration said it was increasing transparency and accountability, the agency reported moved its communications off of its website and onto the Elon Musk-owned social media platform X. This is for Lana Banana. The Social Security Administration, or SSA, has used press releases on its own website to share news, especially on the middle of the major changes announced in the last 2 months, including staff reductions and all that stuff. But the agency will be using X to communicate to the press and the public, says Linda Kerr Davis, Midwest and Western Regional Commissioner, said in a call with employees on Thursday. If you're used to getting press releases and dear colleague letters, you might want to subscribe to the official SSA X account so you can stay up to date on agency news. I know this probably sounds very foreign to you. It did to me as well, and not what we're used to, but we are in different times now. Wire actually reported, this is from MarketWatch.com, Wire also reported that the press releases and Dear Colleague letters would cease to be posted on the website and be found on X. And it wasn't clear if the move to X would affect just regional offices or the agency as a whole. Social Security Administration didn't immediately respond because there's probably nobody there to a request for comment. The agency reposted the Wired story Friday night, claimed it was false. Social Security will continue to communicate through any and all mediums. So Social Security is saying it's false. White House spokesperson Liz Houston denied the reported claims, labeling them as misleading in a statement provided to MarketWatch. Social Security Administration is actively communicating with beneficiaries and stakeholders. And, of course, people complained where? On X. You may as well put your stuff on X. Because at this point, that's where they are. And I don't care what anybody says. If that's where the people are, that is where you go. Kind of makes sense to me. I think I should probably be on. Are you on X?
I do have a Twitter account, or X, whatever we're referring it to.
Okay, but you don't go on there because it's for old people, right?
My algorithm would look much different than yours.
I wouldn't be too sure about that, but okay. See, younger people just make really like weird assumptions that they're just, well, it'd be different for mine. Everybody's algorithm is different. Everybody is different. So for you to say that, I'm insulted. And it's only Monday. I'll do anything for something free. So, And so we can't do dinner. So, oh, that's right. You owe me a cigar. So, okay. That's like cigar number 8. I just pulled out a random. His face was like, dude, maybe 2. 8? No. See, rule number 1. Never work with other people who have degrees. They can count. They like have an education and you can't jack them, right? You'd be like, so. They were like, well, no, actually. Yes, I had a class on that. And you'd be like, just can't pull it over. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here's Debbie Lazaga.
Eastbound 94, got a little pocket of heavy traffic past Brookfield Road, and then again from the zoo all the way to Holly Road, and then coming out of the stadium interchange to 27th. Westbound is tight out of the Marquette all the way to 35th. Southbound 43, watch for delays from before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way down to the KK River. Northbound is backing up from just before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way to Keefe. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy skies, breezy, a few showers later on, a low of 38. Tomorrow, a few snow showers early, afternoon sun, breezy with a high of 50. For the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This message is sponsored by WisCaregiver.com. Now is the time to start a meaningful career as a caregiver. Make a real difference in people's lives. WisCaregiver.com gives you 2 great options for free. Train for the in-demand caregiver workforce as a CDCP, Certified Direct Care Professional, or become a CNA, Certified Nurse Aide. All training is free. Plus, you can earn a $500 bonus. Learn more. Visit WisCaregiver.com.
Aging well means staying healthy, active, and independent. To age well, we need to take care of our bones. 10 million Americans have osteoporosis, a hereditary disease that makes bones weak and more likely to break. Thankfully, we can all take simple steps to improve our bone health at any age. Eat a healthy diet that is rich in calcium and vitamin D. Get regular weight-bearing exercise, which means on our feet. Get bone health tips at pathtogoodbonehealth.org.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Here is Ben Jammin with his truth.
Truth Nation and all the juicy jammers out there, can I be honest? Honest about what? Honest about me. Honest about following your dreams. Matthew 16, verse 26. What is it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? I didn't know what I was getting into when my mother birthed me. I never imagined walking out of a job would lead me here. Back in 2017, I was working third shift at a grocery store, hating it. I knew I had to make a change. One day I walked out. No plan, just a leap of faith. 2 months later, I got a job with V100, and it was on and popping. I met Wiz Khalifa, Jerry Springer, Ice Cube, and Charlamagne the God. But in 2020, everything changed. COVID hit, and I was furloughed. But it gave me clarity. Clarity on who I was, who my real fans were, and what I truly wanted. After 8 months, I got an opportunity with 1017 The Truth. I got the chance to speak on air, and things took off. I started as a producer, and now I'm the host of Jamming with Juice. I've spoken with the White House, NBA All-Stars, and even killed an unreleased track with one of your favorite rappers. Through it all, I remained vulnerable with you, Truth Nation, especially after losing my dad. But here's the truth. It's not just about following your dreams. It's about preparing for them. What you want to happen is going to happen. But if you're not ready for it, you have to watch it pass you by. As a great prophet once said, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. So if it wasn't for the divine timing of the George Floyd assassination, the time that I took for myself to become greater, or the vision of the CEO of our company, 1017 The Truth, or myself wouldn't be here. So I'll call it divine timing. I can tell you to follow your dreams, but it's much better if you prepare for them.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to Jammin' with Juice with Ben Jammin and Carrie Noni weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. Thanks to 43 points from Pat Connaughton, the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Detroit Pistons in overtime on Sunday afternoon, 140-133. They finished the regular season with an overall record of 48-34. Next up is the Indiana Pacers in round one of the NBA playoffs. Over to baseball, where the Milwaukee Brewers lost to the Diamondbacks on Sunday by a final of 5-2. They end up losing 2 out of 3. They return home tonight to take on Detroit. First pitch for tonight's contest is all set for 6:40. And lastly, over to golf, where after 11 years, Rory McIlroy finally did it.
The long journey is over. McIlroy has his masterpiece.
McIlroy outlasting Justin Rose in the playoffs to secure his first Masters championship. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yo, Dave, you get the sticks. Slim, get the bass. Yo, are you ready to kick it? Here we go.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
Turn them up.
Turn it up just a little bit.
Well, all right.
Slim, give me a little bit of bass.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. Hey, calling all black-owned business owners and entrepreneurs. Are you looking to share your story and grow your reach? We teamed up with Associated Bank for our black-owned business give back. At each quarter, 4 lucky business owners will win an opportunity to spotlight their brand and journey on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. So to sign up for your business spotlight interviews, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank member FDIC. Hey. Y'all remember that? Y'all wasn't even born when that music came out. Wasn't even born. Don't know music. Y'all have no idea what New Jack Swing is. New Jack Swing. Although y'all love it. So what is the genre of music that Gen Z likes that's not theirs? Because everybody has that time where they like music, but it's not theirs. What's yours?
Do you know what drill rap is?
Yeah, I know what drill rap is. Stop asking me questions like that's insulting. Like, literally, that's insulting. Do you know what drill rap is? Oh, little pet, like patting me on my head, like, really? You know what I call it? Mumble rap.
People say all rap nowadays is mumble rap.
My point. Okay. But I know drill is different. I know. It's Yes, I know. So you like drill rap. Why is that? But that's kind of close to your, like, I mean something outside.
I cannot think of another genre that hasn't at least been created decades before.
Rap wasn't invented decades before. It it came out of house and permeated and then morphed, and now it's hip hop. And hip hop is a euphemism for rap, drill, all that. Even though people try to separate it out and people argue and complain, they don't grasp that it's just branding. Oh, we'll just call it hip hop. Actually, what it is the American Music Awards being lazy and probably racist and decided that we're going to give y'all one. We got like 9. You get 1 and spoken word. That's it. See you later. Because most of the music that we have today, they heard what some black person did and then did it. And my proof is Elvis Presley will tell you where he got his music from, who he listened to. And it's not a negative. I don't take it as a negative. That's not a. It's just at some point you get tired of. It's almost you don't want to create something because you know if you create it, you're gonna lose it. Somebody's gonna come in and say it's theirs. Just like Rolling Stone magazine did when they said Deborah Harry invented rap. Stupidity. They got called out, and I think they lost their luster after that point. We're talking Rolling Stone magazine, and thank God it wasn't Nelson George because he was a prolific writer back in the day. Makes no sense. So, I don't know. 833-212-1017 is the number. I'm behind already anyway. Hey, Lady Banana, what's going on?
Hey, Dr. Harris, how are you? I'm fine.
I'm good. I got this cold in the back of my throat because I get a cold, that transitional cold between hot and cold and hot. And
ginger brandy. Just a little bit, just to wet your whistle.
I don't drink like that.
No shot.
I don't drink like that.
I know, but just a little bit. It ain't got to be. It's not a shot.
Okay, you can't
not
say
even
I know,
half
but
a shot.
You can't say I know,
just
but
enough.
I said no.
Let me see how much it is.
Show some respect.
The size of
Show some respect.
It's about the size of half of a dime.
I said no.
The size of half of
Did
a dime.
I say no?
Okay, well, if you change your mind, those are one of them, okay?
No, I'm not going to change my mind. Like, why is it that people will just dismiss conspiracy theory? People will dismiss what you say, even when you give them direct, specific information to the contrary.
Because I don't get cold. That's what I do.
I don't care.
I'm just sharing some knowledge with you.
I just said I
okay,
ain't
well, that's fine.
No. If you get to beat me up, I get to beat you up too. Anyway, go ahead.
I ain't going to beat you up. I ain't going to beat you up, Dr. Harris.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yes, ma'am.
No, but
yes.
Just a little lesson here, like staying to the one I called. I think the reason why she thinks that
her name was Sue, by the way. Her name was Sue.
Sue.
Yes.
Sue. Okay, I'm glad she called. You know what I'm saying? And she wasn't all offensive and everything, and I appreciate that, Sue. Okay, continue that. And what I want to say is that the media put us in a negative way, and they show the negative attributes of the black people instead of showing the positive ones. And then, the history of us is not being taught. So just don't look at things on the surface. Just look at it and see the origination of it and see how, you can critical think and use empathy and think with an open mind and heart and see how, a solution can work for both of us, not just to see what's in your favor.
But why is it that when stuff happens, black people always are concerned about everybody else instead of themselves? Like, what is that when something happens, we include everybody instead of taking care of ourselves?
I don't.
Instead of taking care of yourself. Like, what is that?
I don't.
Because we want to be like, Al has something right. We got to be, we got to want people to like us. When, in fact, it doesn't matter whether or not people can pretend to like you. And you still think they do.
Yeah.
So, what is that?
So, I don't know, but I don't do those things. I'm about my black people first, you know what I'm saying? Because, every time when we join, whites and Asians or whatever,
right,
to, assist them in their,
struggle,
movement or whatever.
Struggle,
thank you. Then what we're actually doing is that it seems like we work a little harder than they do when we, try to protest for them.
But what is that? What is that?
To me, it's like I think we want to let them know that we're good people. We're not bad.
Wow.
I don't know, but I don't do that. Dr. Harris.
All right. Well,
I don't do that. I take care of mine and me first.
I appreciate it. All right. Take care.
Yeah. All right, Pete.
833-212-1017 is the number. Vincent, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Good evening, Dr. Ken.
Hey.
On your 5 at 5, it was the first time I heard that the Trump administration refuses to bring back this American citizen.
Well, it's
back
both
to
of them.
America.
That Trump and El Salvador is not going to release him. So it's easy.
I'm sure if the Trump administration, because they're paying for these individuals.
No, this guy actually said he ain't giving him back. Like, he didn't care. The president didn't care what Trump wanted. If Trump had said he wanted him back, he wouldn't give him back. He told him, I ain't sending him back. He considers him a terrorist, and he's not releasing him.
Oh. He considers him a terrorist. Okay,
this is what the El Salvadoran president said.
I understand, but the fact is, I think that our government probably has a lot of influence on the El Salvadoran government.
See, now that's a conspiracy theory. You're making up a reason to support what you believe when, in fact, it's not steeped in any fact. You just believe that.
The fact is, we are the American taxpayers are paying for the El Salvadorian government to hold these individuals down there. So the fact is, we got money behind.
How do you know that?
Well, they said they're paying over $3 million for them to hold these individuals down there. This is what we're paying as taxpayers in order to hold these individuals down there.
Who said that?
And so who said that? That's on national news. That's on Fox News. That's whatever news program you want to look at.
Do you watch Fox News?
I watch Fox News every once in a while. Yes, I do.
So the odds of you. Okay. All right.
But my point is that when you look at the Supreme Court, I wonder, do they have enough cojones in order to put pressure on the Trump administration by holding people in contempt to bring this guy back, because they said they need to
They can't go in a foreign country and bring them back. They said they have to have facilitated, but they can't make them come back. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Supreme Court said facilitate. Because you can't go in someone else's sovereign country and abduct somebody out of a prison and bring them back. That's just life.
Well, they need to try. Well, we need to see whatever efforts that the Trump administration is putting towards this, because the fact is,
well, I already told you he's not putting any.
Well, that's my point. That if he's not putting any, then that is in contempt of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court says you need to try to get this individual back, and when he says he's not going to do it,
but it said try. He didn't say. It said facilitate. It didn't say bring him back. It said facilitate.
Well,
that means you need to work. That means work toward. So does try mean?
Him back.
Let me finish.
Bringing him back, and Donald Trump and his administration said they're not.
Correct. But does try mean? Listen to what I'm saying. Him meeting with the president gives him that I tried. Then the president said no. So there it is. He fulfilled. It's dumb, but he fulfilled it.
Okay.
It's dumb.
Okay.
He's not facilitating anything. He don't care.
This is my point. The point is that Supreme Courts need to put pressure. They need to put people in contempt of court and see and make sure it's submission. Because if he doesn't, don't be surprised.
Got about 20
Trump
seconds.
says he's not going to follow. He's not going to follow any other rulings from the Supreme Court of the United States.
Nah, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to argue with it. I got to roll because I'm way behind. But
all right, did that.
Take care.
Take care.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is Sherwin Hughes from The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. And Truth Nation, you can now watch my show live on YouTube every day from 9 a.m. until noon. Yep, you can get 3 full hours of watching Sherwin doing his thing streaming live on YouTube Monday through Friday. You'll get the same insightful conversations about policy, politics, and lifestyle while also seeing my reaction to the unpredictability of our listeners. So go to YouTube right now, subscribe to 1017 The Truth, and see this wonderful smile live every day.
It's 1017 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's lots of buzz surrounding the draft, but you won't find one seeping through Pella's windows and doors. In fact, you should make Pella your #1 pick because right now you can take advantage of no interest financing options or free glass upgrades as long as you order by April 30th. Make a statement by adding Pella's architectural interest inside and out with maximum design flexibility. Their talented designers and installers can match your unique home through dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more. Along with durable and distinguished details, all Pella products stand the test of time, which is why they confidently offer the best wood warranty in the industry. Don't miss out on no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends April 30th, so place your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Seriously injured? Make one call. That's all.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's time to go, y'all. It's been fun. Lana Banana. Who else? Reggie, Reginald. Who else been rolling up in here causing me trouble today? Aunt, Al, Sue, Vincent, all y'all causing me trouble. And I appreciate every single second of it. Because that's why you are part of Truth Nation. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Truth Unfiltered is coming up at 6 o'clock. Denise Thomas, myself, Dr. Ken Harris. We get into a really big argument, by the way. It's great. But you know me, I'm always a gentleman. Always got to back up and be nice. Which is what we do here. So God bless. Take care. Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate you. I'm still in that Tundra Trio hat. I'm just saying, so don't take that off. Hey, love y'all. I'm out.